Minister Robinson, let's just use a few minutes to kind of look at what has been happening with the lands at Roaring River. We don't have a lot of information apart from what I saw in the newspapers that that China has now sent a proposal to government to claim lands at Roaring River. Your constituency minister, what can you tell us about this claim on Roaring River lands?
Okay, I have really been kept out of the loop myself, and it's only what I have heard coming out of the PAC committee meetings and, just by asking questions here and there. What I understand is that China Harbour, they're not being paid by the government to build this highway, the piece that they're currently doing and the piece that was finished. So I think the government entered into some arrangement with them to develop new towns or economic zones in areas along the highway, and they have given them the land. The equity from the government must be the land. How much of that land has been given and where exactly, which sections of the Roaring River land have been given, I'm not too sure. I called the general manager of UDC to ask him, because those lands fall under UDC. And he said that he was going into a meeting, coincidentally at the same time that I called, to discuss that same Roaring River matter, those lands. He said at the time, and that was Thursday or Friday, 2 days ago, that the section where the Great House is, those sections would be, he was sure, and that the government was trying to hold on to the beach side of the property. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, because
it says in the newspaper article, it says north and south of the highway. So it would mean on both sides.
That was my understanding. A couple months ago, some businessmen who walk on some section of the beach in that area, in the mornings for exercise, called me to say that they were shocked because they were walking one morning and they met upon some Chinese people, must be from China Harbour. They thought that they must have been from China Harbour, who were saying that they very soon they wouldn't be able to use the beach because they had acquired it. Whether this is so or not, I don't know. As a member of parliament, they have not called me to a meeting to discuss it. We know that there are big informal settlements at Roaring River.
Yes.
So, when I spoke to Mike Henry, who had responsibility for transport and works in the former government, he said that that he had entered into some discussions with China Harbour and that factories were supposed to be built, economic zones, and the people who live in the area would be the first beneficiaries of whatever economic development took place there. And that if persons were to be relocated, which is the most important thing, where they live, they would have to be relocated to areas and to circumstances that would be much better than where they were moving.
Right, we were scheduled to speak with Mike Henry, but I'm wondering did he go to the reparations conference in Antigua?
He did.
He's probably traveling.
He's traveling.
Right. All right, so because he was scheduled to be on, but we'll talk to him when he gets back. So two things there. One, do you realize that you have been talking using the saying given as opposed to proposed?
Yes.
Just listening to you, I'm getting from you.
It's a fait accompli. I feel that way too. I feel that way because of just being in the constituency and from seeing certain activities. And we have to be very mindful of all these lands that we, whatever we do, whether we give, trade, whatever it is. Because
Minister
the watershed areas.
I'm sorry to interrupt, even when we're just a few minutes from the news, but I need to get this to sink in, and I don't know if the listeners are getting it. You're the member of parliament, have been for a while. You're very, very involved in Oterius long before you entered politics. We know that. So you know what's happening in Oterius. And you are saying to us that you believe that this deal is a done deal already. The Roaring River lands has already been given to China?
Well, it's what came out of the PAC meeting the other day would suggest that this is so. And, you know, I hope that the government is mindful of what they're doing. I hope the environmental agency is doing their work, you know, because for a couple of weeks now we have been having water problems in Stewartown. And the main problem that we have had there is turbidity. And we don't have to ask why the water is brown, because they're bulldozing as we speak to make the highway. And when you bulldoze on those hillsides, when the rain fall, you don't have to go up there to see what happens.
We heard last week from Mr. Fernandez that it's a major limestone plateau.
It is.
And that anything that happens there will ultimately disturb the water.
Absolutely.
So what are we to think now? Because I started a petition to the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Yeah, I know.
Please don't give this land to China. Rethink this. But from what I'm hearing from you now, it's almost like it's done. They already have it.
I want to think that is so.
And it's a good point in China, because I see, what is the security guards doing up there?
There was supposed to be wardens of the land. I don't know. I supposed to stop Jamaican people from, you know, informal settlers from going on the land. I don't know if that is what it is. You know, I was accused recently in the papers of putting on people. The letter said, as I heard, I haven't read it. I heard that it said that as we speak, the member of parliament is putting it. I mean, you know, that is. Lord. It doesn't even warrant a response, quite frankly. You know.
No, but some of us need to go camp out up there. It would appear to me, security guard or no security guard.
Right, we need to get answers and
occupy Roaring River.
I'm hoping that, you know, Mr. Malcolm, Desmond Malcolm, who is the general manager of the UDC, who is a very reasonable person. I expect that, you know, in short order, he'll be calling myself and the parish council representatives in to explain to us, to give us an update as to what is happening and what to expect and what to tell the people. You see, this is a problem we have. You know, we're not consulting with the local people, and that's why we have the problems.
You see, my producer running in here says Mr. Dennis Malcolm just called.
Desmond Malcolm.
Sorry, Desmond Malcolm, that he just called. Or he got disconnected. Or could you call back Mr. Malcolm, but do that at 9, because we're going into news in 2 minutes to talk to us about these lands. You know, Minister Robinson, when we called the Mr. Ivan Anderson, we'd asked him to come on last week, and we asked him to come on this week again. Well, for both times he said no, because as it is now, it's just a proposition. It is not a done deal. As it is now, it's just a proposal. But you're saying, from what happened with the PAC meeting recently, and from what you see, and from the activities you see happening there, your thinking is that it's a done deal?
I think so, because when I called to speak to Mr. Malcolm, and he will come on and say if it's so or not, he said that it was the lands up by the Great House, but they were trying to hold on to the beach side.
They were trying to hold on. But why trying?
They're trying to hold on to the beach side. So he is better able to explain it.
Yes, and that's an interesting term to say, trying.
And all right. In the absence of knowing the facts, you know, Andrea, that's when all these rumors abound. People don't know, and they hear little snippets here and there, right. And it has made them very agitated.
It has made me I am agitated.
Of course.
It came out right in the middle of a chikungunya outbreak.
Yeah.
So that means we're supposed to miss it. And I'm telling you, most of Jamaica missed it.